You ready, brother?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right.
Mr. Granville Gittens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will, what up? Big Will.
How are you?
I'm great, man. I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you being here. We are getting ready for the My City Alumni Classic taking place Sunday, May 1st, where we will have alumni teams representing some of the local colleges coming back, competing. Granville, on that day, which school will you be representing?
Baruch College. Bernard Baruch College.
Baruch.
Yes, the Bearcats.
The Bearcats.
Bearcats.
Now, Granville, let me tell you, this is my first time meeting you, of course, right? So I'm reaching out to my contacts to put these rosters together, and they send me a roster with your name on it. So I'm doing my research. I see, okay, 2015 championship game MVP. I see all the basketball exploits, and that's cool. But what really got my attention, there's footage of you out there in a boxing ring.
Oh yeah.
Granville, are you a boxer?
I am, sir. I am. I'm the Golden Glove champion right now. Reigning Golden Glove champion for heavyweight. That's under at the time 201. So 201 between 201 and 189 now.
Granville, this is a big deal. How long have you been boxing?
I mean, like focusing on it, like 5 years. But I've had I first stepped into a boxing gym when I was a kid. I was just always basketball.
Right.
And but I always had a thing for boxing. I always loved boxing, wanted to be a boxer, wished I was a boxer. And then when I was in Barbados, I was living in Barbados for 2 years, had the opportunity I met a coach, had the opportunity to have some local bouts, ended up fighting for the national team. And then, so I was like on a fast track, went straight into national. And after my third bout, I was fighting elite British Royal Navy sailors. Like, they just threw me in there.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
So Golden Globes heavyweight champ of New York City? And
I'm ranked number 7 in the country for 86 kg. That's 189.
For amateur heavyweights?
Yeah, number 7 in the, not heavyweight, cruiserweight.
When did you win the Golden Globes heavyweight?
That was so I won it in 2021. But because of the pandemic, they rolled over the Golden Gloves from 2020. So it was called the 2020 Golden Gloves, but it was in 2021.
Yo, bro, I'm fascinated by this, man.
Yeah, man.
You got a stellar college basketball career that we're going to get into, but would you say you made a transition? You said it was always a love, but you couldn't do both full time. Like, so in the last 5 years when you really focused on boxing.
Right. Yeah, you ever seen it's funny, it's funny because I wasn't trying, you know how people see movies and they want to do something from the movie, but it's not them.
Yeah.
So what's the one, the new Rocky movie?
Creed?
Creed, right. Yeah. It's really like some Creed type of ish, you know
I ain't seen the movie, so why would you say, what's the comparison?
The reason why I'm saying that is because in the first part of Creed, he's in an office. He's in a cubicle. Okay. He's like, F this. Yeah. And I guess, his past is calling him from his pops Creed and what happened with his pops and all that, who was Creed, who got killed in the ring, and so on and so forth. So I was in an office. I was in an office, man, in Philly. I was in Philly for 6 months, and F that. I was doing.
Wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Not to knock it anybody else that does work in the office or does marketing or but it wasn't for me. The only thing that was giving me any type of even like life or health, like I was having migraines, splitting headaches, waking me up in the middle of the night, crying, thought I was dying, and I think it was depression, lack of activity being inside, not like negative energy, like, and it also could have been that agency. Yeah. Right? Could have been that agency and the culture there.
But Granville, why didn't you say, all right, F this cubicle and then go pursue a basketball career? Why the ring?
That's mostly because I blew my knee out.
Okay.
And I blew my knee out like before I even started playing at Baruch. And I had the ACL repair. So at this point, I just can't do a professional season.
The grind. What would you say are some things that made you successful on the basketball court that has enabled you to find success in the ring?
Paying attention to the details, just grinding, like understanding that reps and time and fundamentals are so important. Actually, with boxing, I kind of lost sight of the fundamentals because I wanted to be super skilled and have all the defense and all the combinations, when really it's kind of like basketball, where when I was the best that I've ever been at basketball. I actually played some semi-pro ball in Barbados, and like I almost was a Barbados national basketballer, like FIBA and all that too.
Right.
I got called to the national trials, but something happened with my passport and everything. I didn't have my passport clearance yet at the time, so that's pretty much like kind of what's blocked me. But when I was at my best, that was when I was at my best, because every day, all I was doing, there was a point where I made a transition, and that's how I kind of became to who I am now, as fitness, basketball coach, training. And I just went to the court every day, and I just did my form shooting, catch and shoot, off the dribble, just around the world, right around the ring, not far, and then put up my shots, and then just understanding, like, okay, if I catch the ball and the defense is, if my team is moving the ball and the defense is rotating, I'm just gonna boom, or catch, rip, boom, boom, 2 hard dribbles, boom, boom, straight. And like, I'm not even gonna make a move. I'm just gonna catch and rip.
Right.
That was when I was at my best.
Fundamentals, basics.
Fundamentals and basics.
Right.
And without knowing when to make a decision, knowing timing and decision making over like, always trying to be like,
flashy,
right,
do the leg. Nah, just get back to the basics.
Right. And so with boxing, like just to summarize that, with boxing, I need to get back to my boom, boom, 1, 2, and just keep the timing on it, and my form, just perfect form. Like Bruce Lee said, he said he doesn't fear the man that practice 1,000 kicks. He fears the man that practice one kick 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Right.
That's some deep shit.
Bruce Lee is always on his deep shit,
So what's next for the boxing career?
Well, Ringmasters is coming up. Staying sharp for that. Getting in as much work as I can for that. That's like next month. I gotta sign up for that now. And by next month, I'll be in Ringmasters. And then after that, that's gonna be nationals after that. And then pretty much I'm not getting any younger. So try to make a run with some pro fights and see how it goes. At least to say I went for it.
You went for it. Right. You went for it. Mm-hmm. Wow, man, that's impressive, man. That is impressive. Let's talk about this college basketball career.
Okay.
I've been paying attention to too many stories and box scores as we start to put this event together. And one of your biggest accomplishments from the outside is the 2015 City Championship.
Right. You
leading Baruch to a championship win. And Granville, that was a double overtime game, huh?
Yeah.
How do you describe that experience? Biggest game of the year, double overtime, you win, championship game MVP. Talk to me.
All right. That's a big game. At that point, it's something deeper than basketball for that situation for me, because that my team was not the most talented team. Okay. Baruch was not the most talented team. York might even have been in the semifinals, might even have been more talented than us. Mm-hmm. We had a great coach, Coach John Alisi. He knows his stuff, and he runs a hell of a practice. That's just the truth. So, and the way that he also comes up with stuff too in situations, and the things that he has for certain situations. Yeah. Is whether it's a strategy for the game, for how we're going to play a team, or like we're in a situation, he has to figure out what he's going to. There was a time, the chip that they won after me, that first chip that we won with me, they ran a football play. Wow. I don't know if you knew about that. No. They ran check it out. They ran a football play. They had to inbound from full court, and they lined them up like football, and they had a quarterback and everything, and they threw it into like somebody at half court. He caught. I don't know if he took a dribble or two, like earlied it up to somebody at free throw line, and like the big court the forward court at the free throw line turned and knocked down a little jumper. Yeah. football style. So he does. That goes out to John. That's respect to him for doing stuff like that. And we just packed in the defense against Brooklyn. We packed in the gaps. And
yo, Granville, it's cool for you to give a shout out to your coach.
No,
but you didn't you hit a buzzer beater to even send it into overtime? Like play is play,
right,
bro.
So that's what I was gonna say in the first. That's what I was kind of getting at in the beginning. I was on my will to win.
Yes.
Is really what led to all that.
Talk that.
I put in a lot of work. All like for years, and you could go as far back as you want to youth basketball. All of it led to this moment, right? But my whole college career, I'm working, I'm grinding, I want to be the best. I wanted to win a chip. I did it for my pops, and I always gotta say this. I did it for my pops because rest in peace to my dad. He dedicated his life to me. He forced me to learn even when I was being a hardhead, and a knucklehead and stuff. So I had a will, I had motivation. It was bigger than myself. It was for like paying my dues and just trying to do what's right for the opportunity to win a chip.
Was he able to be present?
Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He was just only in spirit.
Right.
But that's the spirit that took over. I wasn't thinking like we went down by 7. We went down by 7 with 2 minutes left. So this is the part like maybe like everybody doesn't know, or if they wasn't there or can't remember. Like we was down by 7 with 2 minutes left.
Wow.
And then Brooklyn start chanting, Brooklyn. I'm like, oh, y'all don't know. They didn't know Will.
What happened? That spirit?
They didn't know that where I was from.
Copy.
They didn't know I was from Brooklyn. And they chanting Brooklyn thinking they won to. So not only y'all think y'all beat me, right? You chanting Brooklyn.
Where I'm from.
You get me? I'm from the floor. It's like, Will, you come on now. You get where I'm coming from with this. People that go to Brooklyn College, I don't know, they might not even be from Brooklyn sometimes.
Straight up.
You get me? So don't get too hyped too soon. You feel me? So you know what I mean? So after that point, after that moment, basically, John was always running the offense, like reversing the ball through me. Kind of like maybe he thought there would be a moment when I would have to. He kind of wanted me to maybe have a time to make a decision if I wanted to reverse it or not.
Right.
Like make them reverse it through me just in case I didn't feel like reversing it. You feel me? And I wanted to get busy, even though that's not what I was supposed to always do. But when we went down by 7 with 2 minutes left,
that was your time.
I wasn't thinking. I didn't think about nothing. Perfect release, no hesitation, nothing. I was really almost like I was tight, but it sometimes I think what we call like it's more in the zone. Like it's emotions, it's passion. It feels almost like being tight because of the situation, like we're about to lose, but really it's just.
So you did what you were trained to do. So how 7-point deficit with 2 minutes left. You guys erased it.
Dropped it down to 4. We battled back. Shout out to my teammates because without them, they were taking shots and stuff like that. We all played a hell of a team defensive game.
Tell me about that shot to tie it and send it into overtime.
So we get that shit down to 2. And then, all right, so now is where I have to take it back to semifinals against York.
Go for it.
And the reason for that is because the same thing happened twice. Against York, against York, it was tied. 6 seconds left. Against Brooklyn, we was down to 6 seconds left. Against York, all of the team drama that always happens between teammates and, getting to know different personalities. And then Baruch is even more like, you got guys from all over the city. You got all different races, all different, is one of them like kind of schools. So it's that much like different cultures and clashing. But then damn, what do we do? 6 seconds left, 2 minutes left, 2 down by 6 seconds left. It had to be one of my teammates had to step up. Yo, get a ball of Granville, man. Stop playing. Like all the ones that didn't want to talk and didn't want to have nothing to say, right? I gotta shout him out, my boy Ray, De La Cruz from the Bronx, man. My boy Ray. He said, get the ball to Granville.
Straight up?
Straight like that. Give the ball to Granville. So that's when at York now it was a back-to-back game winners basically.
Yeah, I know. That's what I read.
Right. So boom, knocked down the shot. York played a hell of a game too. Shout out to them guys. I like them guys because I remember they had a good vibe too. Like it was graceful. It was graceful, in competition. And they played a hell of a game. And then And then against Brooklyn now, same situation. 6 seconds left, down by 2. So the same play is basically they set a double screen at the foul line.
Yeah.
That that screen that closes, like you cut through the middle and they close it on your man or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they got to switch. They gotta try to figure that out. I'm not gonna shoot a 3 in that situation, but they just making them scramble, trying to get me open. Boom, I catch, I turn. Same thing, right? But now I didn't have I didn't have a plan. I didn't know. All I knew was I'm ripping.
There's no nerves in this situation?
Nah, not at all. If you have nerves in this situation, you're thinking too much.
Copy.
You feeling too much.
You on autopilot?
I wanted to win.
Yeah.
I wanted to win, and I was gonna go my hardest to win. I put my head down, and I put the ball on the floor, and I took the 2 hard dribbles and ripped as hard as I could and as fast as I could to go to the Baja and get up as high as I could and try to finish. That's all I went to do on that play. What happened was the second dribble or the third dribble, all of a sudden, I'm like, literally, I had it's like time slowed down. I remember it being like, there was a moment I was like, the ball is up there. The joint I missed it. I just missed it. It bounced up. I'm dribbling the ball so hard. I'm going so hard that the ball just went up in the air, right past my hand. Okay. And I'm not, because you know how sometimes you carry the ball when you dribble, right? So I'm like, oh shit, it was a moment. I look back. So I had to stop now. I'm gonna get up, right? But I had to stop, turn, change direction, go up, jump up in the air, regain possession of the ball, and land. So from there, there's only one move to do. Turn around jumper. Yeah. Something I practiced plenty of times. So I just did it. Turn around, fade away, bottom of the net again.
Got you.
Yeah, when you're thinking and you have nerves, that's when you're gonna hesitate. That's when you're gonna shoot too hard or I wasn't thinking.
When you double overtime game, is there a moment when you get tired? Do you remember a moment when you were like, yo, another one?
Hell no.
Never?
Especially if you're in shape. That's why, whoever's if you're a younger guy, I don't know how many younger people or ballers that's still balling, but I always, talk to the youth a little bit. And you gotta be in shape, put in your work, do your running, everything high intensity. Of course, your adrenaline and all that is gonna take over a little bit, but I didn't have no issues finishing that game.
You was ready for that game. That's it. Tell me about when it's all said and done. Everybody's scrambling, trophies is being passed out. What's your one memory from, I guess, the end, the celebration?
All of it was cool. The cutting the net, you get the hat, you get this, you get that. All of that was cool.
What's going through what emotions are you going through? Did you expect to be named Game's Most Valuable Player?
I guess I didn't really think about it. I don't remember thinking about it I'm about to be the MVP. But if I did, and I would have. I guess I'm not surprised. Mm-hmm. Part of me wanted to. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that. I just know I tried to take the ball. I tried to take the game ball. It was floating around. And I tried to take it home. And Coach John went back to reviewed the tapes and called me up Granville, you bring the ball back. Oh, man. I thought that was mine. He was, for sure. But I guess it wasn't mine.
They probably put on display at the school. Dang, man. They went and watched the film.
Yeah. He was looking. He wanted that ball. Where the game ball go?
You're from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Baruch is just a melting pot. Kids from all over the city, different ethnicities, religions, and stuff like. Mm-hmm. What was your reason for attending Baruch? Why'd you choose that school?
The truth is, that was my only option. Other than 2-year CUNY, mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because I had a rough high school. I had a rough in terms of my family and being focused in school. Mm-hmm. I was a great basketball player. I would have had a much more successful career if it wasn't for distractions and family things that mm-hmm. distracted me from basketball. What ended up happening is, I lost I lost my way for a while, and I found it back. You know, I went to the James Baldwin School, as we spoke about before. Small, what do they call them? Charter schools.
Yeah.
Like when like there was that time when the mayor and them broke down all the big schools into smaller schools and stuff, and so small school, public school, not the most resources, not the best school, but a very special culture of people that I guess the principal or whoever, I'm not even sure who initiated what. Oh, actually, you know what? Outward Bound.
Okay.
They're under this umbrella called Outward Bound schools. I don't know if you've heard of that, but Outward Bound schools are it's like basically an umbrella that's within the public school system.
Yep.
That they just promote a certain culture and them going on nature trips and exposing them to different things. Right. And so the staff cared.
Right.
So they brought in a guy named Tony Davis who was working at College Now program at Baruch. Yeah. And he spoke to us. I approached him, spoke to him. I guess he appreciated and related to me because I was a baller and appreciated how I spoke to him and introduced myself and all that. So he basically pulled some strings, got me in the College Now program, or got me in his program. You know, he was an advocate for black males, young black males, and then through the College Now program, I had college credits at Baruch. Okay. So even though my grades weren't all that, because I kind of messed up my grades in the first school I went to, Trinity, and then just didn't have the best grades. Like Baruch, they're
high academic school, yeah,
higher and higher. So, but I had the credits. And I did well in the classes at Baruch. They rejected me. I appealed, wrote an appeal letter to Baruch, broke down what I can bring to them, which turned out to be true. I can bring academics and athletics. Yep. I've proven myself at your class already in your classes, and wrote a nice letter. They overturned the rejection, and I got accepted to Baruch, and that was my only option.
So the basketball team, the coaching staff didn't even recruit you?
They didn't even recruit me.
So a championship game MVP just walked into their program?
Walked into their program.
When's the first time you felt like the coaches understood, oh, snap, we got one? Like, when's the first time you put them on notice, like, yo, I'm Granville Gittens, I'm here to make a difference?
I think it took them a while. And the reason for that is because they didn't trust me. I think right away they saw the skill. Right. But they're worrying about their guys who they got now. The guys that you played against when I was a freshman. And I also think that was misunderstood, as black men often are. I believe that, so I'm pretty much sure that they thought that, I was a risk, a flight risk, whatever. I remember when I initially, and this is the most that I'm going to say, right, about this, right? The most I'm going to get into this. But I remember when I initially got to Baruch, I was so happy to be in college from what was going on in my life. When I used to think I was going to the NBA. I used to be one of the best guards in the city, arguably. And I know that for a fact because I was going up against top guards in the city as a freshman. I remember being a guard.
As a high school freshman?
As a high school freshman. I remember being a guard as a high school freshman, going up against independent schools, private schools, dropping 8 points in a minute, and just my mid-range pull-up and my handle and my quickness when I was more compact of a kid and a high school, high school body, bouncy like high school players be. I was a dirty point guard. My passing skills, I'm telling you, shit was crazy. But then I got derailed. I lost my head. Right. So I was so happy just to be in college basketball. Right. Just to be in a college basketball practice. Yeah. It had been so many years, and I had things come full circle. I put in so much work, So, I used to smoke cigarettes, bro. I used to.
Stop it, Graham. That's crazy.
I was stressed out, bro. My pops. It was life can be stressful. Sure. Life hits us hard. So, what were you gonna say?
Was there a moment when you felt like there was a transition? They trusted you. You became one of the Baruch Bearcats.
It had to be. Honestly, it was when I think honestly, I think I think the moment happened when I threatened to quit the team because there was a lot of drama. I was going through stuff.
What year were you in at this point? Freshman, sophomore, junior?
I think this was my junior year.
Wow, so that's really far along into your career. What happened? You told him like, "Yo, I'm out of here," and then what happened?
Yeah, I was just fed up with certain things, and I just didn't like the way. I just basically didn't like the way that I was being treated. I didn't like the way I was feeling.
Right.
So I think that was a moment when sometimes you kind of force people to, and I'm just talking about the team in general.
For sure.
You know, all due respect to my teammates, I love them still. Force people to really think about, because you might be misunderstood, and they looking at, like, they still remember, like, they just have this image of you, their first impression, whatever, and then it's like, now, never thought about how you've been grinding until you ready to just dip.
Yeah. Then
they think about, like, at that point, like, I probably in my college career, my junior year, I was more of a scorer than my senior year. My senior year, I shared with Chima. Chima is 2,000 point scorer.
Yeah. So
I think that was the moment.
How did they respond when you said, "Yo, man, I might be out of here"?
A little, like, you know, some panic. It wasn't expected, and like all of the jokes and all of the, like, you know, all the talk turned to serious faces. Like, everything got serious.
Yeah.
And I got way more respect.
Yeah.
I was treated differently. Things changed a lot. And, you know.
What do you think was the biggest change that took place after that period?
I think I just forced everyone to think about the entire situation, how genuine I had been, how hard I had always been working, and how valuable I was. And so with all that, it was just like, all right, let's figure this out. You know, they might not have necessarily agreed with my feelings and my decisions and what I was saying and doing, but they had to consider it. They had to be considerate. For sure. And then there was a lot of love after that. I definitely don't want to negate the love. Like, my teammates, the good times that we had, all of my teammates, my coach, the good times that we had, the ways that he tried to look out for me, and, you know.
Yep. Granville, Sunday, May 1st, My City Alumni Classic. As you already mentioned, you and some of your former teammates, and even some guys who you didn't play with but are Baruch Bearcats, you guys are going to suit up once again. Tell me about the first time you heard about this event.
Chima, I think he hit me up in my DMs.
One of your former teammates.
Right.
Chima
Eki and Kekabar. Yeah. My man, that's my guy, man. He just hit me up in my DMs. He was like, you know, yo, Granville, like, I'm playing this tournament in the summer, man. You want to play? It's official or something like that. Like, he didn't give me mad details or nothing like that. Or maybe he said what it was and said, like, it's CUNY and stuff. And as Chima, so I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm down. You know, kind of like a West 4th Street tournament or any old rec league tournament or whatever like that. Somebody might be playing it. That was it.
That's it.
Then
man.
You start hitting me up. Big Will hit me up and texted me, Granville Gittens, how you doing, sir? Are you ready for your interview? Are you ready for the media? Yeah. I was like, what is this? What? Then I'm talking to Carl. Like, Carl.
A mango.
Right. I'm like, yo, Granville, you heard about this tournament, man? This Baruch is playing in a CUNY tournament, man. And they heard that the dude said you was down with it. I was like, what's that? Like, what tournament? I don't know what you're talking about. I had to think. I'm like, yeah. I actually left, and they had to come back and be like, oh, actually, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And there was a time, Granville, you said yes to Chima initially, and then when I started to reach out to you and connect about the media, like, yo, Granville, we want to sell the story of some of these amazing athletes. You kind of put it on pause for a second. Like, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do right now.
Right.
Why not?
I don't play ball.
Right.
I don't play ball. I mean, of course, I coach. Yeah. I coach ball. I like, and one-on-one. I train I'm a personal trainer. I specialize in basketball, boxing, and strength and conditioning, bodybuilding. I don't play ball no more, and the reason for that is because every time I play ball, I often play ball, and it's either I feel like I'm being used for rebounds by guys who, don't deserve to use me for rebounds.
Right.
You feel me? Like I feel like I deserve like another couple more touches. Like show me some love. You want me to get rebounds for you?
Guys who don't know you, they see your height and say, "Yo, just go get us a rebound."
Kind of stuff, and also it's a risk too. Like if I jam my finger, my fingers don't even heal as fast as they used to.
Yeah.
Like, see this finger right here? I'm not even sure exactly whatever happened to it, but this shit don't even straighten out anymore. Mm-hmm. And I'm a boxer. I need my fingers,
You need your hands.
Then this happened playing basketball.
And that's something we want to do to My City Alumni Classic. Not just have guys out in open gym. We want to put you back with your guys that you were in the fire with, that you practiced with, that you spent 4 years with. So, like you mentioned, Chima H.A. Ekabar, who was 2,000-point scorer, All-American at Baruch. I actually had him in here. He spoke highly of you. You guys won a championship. You were a senior. He was a freshman. Right. And he said, Granville was our leader. Yeah. And when he left, I just tried to fill that void.
Oh, wow.
Why, once you got all of the details, why did you eventually decide that, I'm going to be there on May 1st?
I'm glad that you asked me that.
Go for it.
Because I just wanted to say I'm always ready for the smoke. Don't think that because I don't feel like getting injured and not be, having a little issues that I'm not ready for the smoke. Any good competition, whatever school wants to pull up, shout out Brooklyn College, York College, Lehman College. Let me not forget nobody, Hunter College.
Everybody not playing. Everybody not playing.
Whoever, right? Like whoever's playing. Shout out to all the CUNYAC colleges. We ready. Baruch is coming. Your dudes that played against me already know what it is. I'm bringing the same energy. I didn't used to talk that time. When y'all was talking, trying to talk the shit to me, get in my head, I just want to say, the only thing that I was offended by was that y'all even thought you could get in my head. Why are you talking to me? I'm trying to bust your ass. But it's all love, though.
Straight up.
Nah, but I really, real talk, I still got the itch. I still got the passion. And if I could play some real ball and I get a nice uniform, you feel me, and we playing some games, I'm down for that, man. I could talk to my teammates and be like, yo, and I don't try to talk to my teammate and he think he's this and that and catching a attitude and all kind of stuff. And I could have some fun playing some ball, and that's all I really want.
That's what's up.
Because we ain't getting paid to play ball, so it's got to be fun.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it.
Look forward to having you out there. And funny, you mentioned it's got to be fun. And, I've been doing my research. I've been paying attention to way too many people's social media and stuff. Yeah. And you had a post from earlier this year. It's a picture of you as a young man. And the post starts, "The truth is, I've always hated playing basketball until I was free."
That's it.
What's that about, Granville?
Oh, man. You see, the more interesting my life gets, I get in these situations to interview, man. Will is the interviewer right now. He hit me with the deep stuff.
I found that very interesting. And again, it's a picture of you as a young man, and it says, "The truth is, I've always hated playing basketball until I was free."
Yeah, man. I mean that statement, that was the beginning of the caption, and the caption goes into detail of exactly what I meant by that. And I talk about how I always enjoyed playing basketball and had fun when I was in the zone, when I was on fire, like you in the zone, and I was like I knew I was good. I talk about how I knew I was a good player. I could dominate. I would have moments and stuff like that. And I think this is something that this post is kind of like coming from me from a coaching perspective, talking about my experience as a youth baller. Being pushed, like being pushed at the cost of other things, the cost of the relationship with my father, who was my personal coach, being pushed past enjoying the game, being pushed past the limit of being a child.
Sometimes it was uncomfortable.
Right, it was more than uncomfortable. It was abusive at times. But I feel like, I say that also with the understanding that no one is perfect, and that my father, he was a great father who did the best that he could, and appreciating that, but also understanding that everyone's human and makes mistakes and is flawed. And so if anyone is fallible. So, but because of the way he was and how he did things, there was times when it was a lot. Most of the time it was a job. I had to go to put up my shots. I had to go to the court and practice morning and night, before and after school, not for fun. How many shots we putting up? There wasn't even like those mind games to like make it fun. Like it was just keep shooting until you don't miss. Straight like military disciplinarian style, old Caribbean Bajan style that he probably got from his pop style. So that's what that was about. But then when you're free now is when you're able to choose to play basketball because you love it. I feel like you have to find there's a delicate balance between allowing the kid to have fun and instilling in them the values of hard work, and you have no idea how hard you have to work for what you think you want to be as a basketball player. You think you want to be Steph Curry. You think you want to be Michael Jordan. You think we all thought we want to be Allen Iverson. We try to do the crossovers and emulate the moves that them guys did, and we didn't put in not even a drop of the work that they put in the gym. Right. So it's like I think you got to talk to kids kind of like they have intelligence and deal with them so that they could see the vision instead of telling them you got to do what I say because I say it.
For sure. It is a delicate balance. Right. And, you speak about your pops pushing you to those levels, but in the same breath, you mentioned that when you won that championship, it was to pay homage and respect for your dad. So, there's things that were uncomfortable, but things you appreciate also. And I'm sure that has impacted you as a coach today.
Yeah, I look at it this way. Sorry, not to cut.
No, go. It's your interview, Granville.
Not everybody is gonna make it to the NBA, and not any. Just a couple generations, like my pops, he always used to tell me why. He told me why he was the way he was, because he didn't have nobody to teach him how to play basketball. Everything that our parents do, I think, in fault sometimes is because they didn't have it. It's like, I just want you to have what I never had, and that's not that doesn't mean that what you're doing is right, though, Dad. But at the same time, he said he never had no one to teach him ball, and he wanted to be a ball player. I'm not gonna fault him for wanting to make you be a ball player. I didn't make it to the NBA, but look what I did do. And now I appreciate that. My kids, if they choose, they're the ones that's gonna make it to the NBA because I had someone to teach me. So now I'm gonna give them I can teach them even better than he taught me. Right. And I could give them things that he didn't know, like another coach who's not my parents to work on me with things. Right.
All right, Granville, thank you for sharing, man. What are you up to, man? Tell the people how they can stay in touch with you, like so they can follow you on social media. I saw you do like an Ironman competition or something the other day.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was crazy. It's called High Rocks, and it's like I thought I was in the best shape because of boxing. These dudes are like cross country background, CrossFit background. It took me an hour and 35 minutes. No breaks, like nonstop. I'm going for an hour and 30 for 8 kilometers, and in between each kilometer, 8-kilometer run. In between each kilometer, you gotta do a sled push, sled pull, and the sled is like 380 pounds. That thing is barely moving. Your feet sliding on the ground. You gotta push it 100 meters and right? It was crazy. My feet was hurting. I didn't wear the right shoes, but it was the first time I did it. I know I could cut my time down a little bit. I'm gonna try to represent myself a little bit better, but I'm still proud of how I did though, because I kind of just cruised through for the first time, and I didn't kill myself, and I know I could if I feel like I ran like an extra couple of laps by accident and stuff, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Did you find yourself having the same conversations with yourself that you would like during a basketball game? Yeah, definitely. Basketball is where I learned all of my mentality. It taught me everything about
it was the experience with my dad and losing him that made things click for me, because I needed to not have him to also understand what he was trying to show me, which is school and basketball. It's really that simple. The only thing I really needed, I shouldn't have been worrying about what school I went to, even though I should have been given more of a say in what high school I went to. I shouldn't have been worrying about it. I shouldn't have been worrying about what my stupid coach was doing in high school. I shouldn't have been worrying about, none of these things that we let offset us. Just should have been worrying about going to the court, what he was forcing me to do the whole time if I wanted to be good. And once it clicked for me, that's when I just, I realized I can just be the best basketball player that I could possibly be, and it applies to anything else in life. I can be as good as I can possibly be. It's not about for me. It's people say the cliche. It's about the journey, not the destination. But really and truly, you can never know the destination. Anything could happen. Life is a gift, not a promise. So you don't know if you're gonna make it to that day. You don't know what you're gonna get, but you know that if you're doing what you love, you enjoy the journey, you put in the work, and you reach to the stars. You shoot for the moon, you reach the stars. It's not your choice. It's not up to you. It's only up to you putting in work as hard as you can.
That's all you can control.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, man.
We see you on May 1st.
Yes, sir. You're gonna see me. You're gonna see me any game I can make it to, as long as I don't have to train somebody, or as long as I'm making my rent, getting my rent paid and all that. I'm coming to ball. I'm coming to cook y'all, man. Y'all better pull up and bring your A game, because don't think because I don't play ball that I'm not in shape. I just did high rocks. You heard? I'm in shape, and I still got my game. I'm coming to dog. I'm coming to eat. All right? And also I just wanted to say shout out to everybody. You could check me on Instagram _wellfit_. That's my fitness page. It's really all about love for me at the end of the day, like sharing what we do, networking, building a network, building a community. And then I just got into the music too. I've always been interested. I've always been a writer, always been interested in music, writing, recording. But now I decided to do that and enjoy it and put my passion into that as well. So check me out. Gazaman Grits. That's GAZAMAN Grits. GRITS. That's my music page. First track dropping soon on that too. So if anybody's into music, anybody into the culture.
What type of music? Rap, hip hop?
So it's
reggae?
A fusion of all of that.
All right.
It's a fusion of all of that. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, man.
Yes,
Well, Granville, we appreciate you. See you May 1st. We out.
We out. Thank you so much, Will. Shout out to Will, man.
Thank you, sir.
That's the man. Thank you.
Granville Gittens.
Yeah, that was fun. I like doing stuff like this.